Good morning. Thank you for joining us today for our blended IT presentation. I am Jackie Weiner, and I will be presenting. So here we go. We are Managed Solution. We are technology partners that empower business. We're a regionally recognized service provider. We've got office locations in San Diego, Orange County, Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Denver. We maintain 100,000 plus assets for more than 1,500 businesses, and we are a top 1% cloud service provider worldwide. So that is a little bit about Managed Solution so that you know kind of where we got to presenting this webinar on blended IT and how it can help your business. A little bit more about Managed Solution and our accolades. We have been around since 2002, lots of awards, lots of great stuff here. You can kind of read for yourself. Most recently, we got Microsoft's SMB West Region Partner of the Year for marketing. So that was a big win for us at Microsoft's World Partner Conference. And then just a little bit about me quickly, your speaker, Jackie Weiner. I've been with Managed Solution for a little bit over a year now and have a background in the military and technology and communications. So that is kind of the culmination of technology and communications, bring that together to help users, the end user really engage with the latest and greatest in the industry. That's about me, and you guys can check out my LinkedIn if you want to know more about me. But without further ado, let's get to the topic at hand, which is blended IT. So we're going to talk about what is a blended IT, why blended IT could be a fit for you, myths about blended IT, how blended IT has already helped someone like you, of course a great case study, and then types of blended or hybrid IT models available. So blended IT, hybrid IT, however you want to phrase it, hashtag it, we'll be talking about what that means for your business. Okay, great. So first, what is blended IT? So blended IT, as it might sound, it's just a mix of your IT staffers and someone else's IT staffers. So whether that's an independent contractor, it's an IT firm, and whether it's full-time, you have full-time staff and you use an outsourcing firm part-time, or whether you have a part-time staff and you use a outsourced IT firm full-time or part-time. It's just a blend of different IT departments. But the key here is for them to work together in harmony. So it's not about the old stigma of outsourcing IT, and if I outsource IT, I lose all control, and it's you know, people are not going to care about us, or they're going to fight with us, or it's not going to be really a congruent solution for our business. It's really about working together in harmony and filling in those gaps. So what the in-house team lacks, the outsourced team can fill in and help with. So that is really the essence of blended or a hybrid IT solution. So you know, a technology firm working with your IT department in an ongoing way, sporadically, just project-oriented work, or even if you already have an existing IT provider. So let's say you've got no one in-house, possibly. You've got no IT staff. You literally just use a small outsourced IT firm. They are going to run into issues at some point in time where there's something that they don't know, and then you can bring in an even bigger third-party trusted advisor to come in and help your day-to-day IT provider fill in the gaps that they need help with. So it's really about blending the best of all the situations, whether it be in-house, a small outsourced firm, or a larger outsourced IT firm. So that is kind of just a picture of what the culmination of what that can look like, the harmony of two different departments working together to create magic. And we will move in to how can blended IT help? All right, so strategically, blended IT can help because your team can't be good at everything, and it's really that simple. There is so much technology, and obviously we all know technology is moving very, very, very quickly, and there's so much available. There's no way that your team knows everything there is to know on a given day in the technology sphere. So even if you've got really smart people, you can have the smartest people in the world, it doesn't mean they know everything about the hardware, the latest software, the latest services, System Center, AWS, Azure, Windows 10, SharePoint, Power BI, Skype for Business. There's no way that your internal team can know all of this. So strategically aligning yourself with trusted partner, a trusted firm that can help fill in those gaps. And just to kind of give you an example of what it takes to really know and be aware of all of these competencies that you see here. So this is just an example of what would be in any larger IT firm's wheelhouse. It would take, let's say, just managed solution, for example, we've got 42 engineers with gold and silver Microsoft competencies, 11 system integration engineers, 23 field engineers, and technical support staff. All of these engineers to be able to bring together a knowledge base that supports all of these solution stacks. So really, so much going on out there. It really is great to have a trusted partner that you can call when you're just even considering a new technology without having to spend the time on your team just doing all the research and even figuring out if it's something that you guys even want to move forward with. So that is the first way. The second way that blended IT can help is with alignment. So business savvy know-how. Basically, and this goes two ways. So either your IT department is bogged down with the day-to-day technology issues that face your company, whether that be help desk or ongoing projects, and they don't have the time to basically look at the strategic business outcomes that your company is looking to achieve and align your technology to support those. So they're so busy in the day-to-day that no one's looking at that 100,000-foot level. So does your current technology solution match that strategic vision? And where is your focus for that strategic vision? Is it customer satisfaction? Is it growth? Is it efficiencies? Who is looking at your current technology stack and making sure that it aligns strategically with what your outcomes are, what business outcomes you're trying to achieve? So when you employ the skills of an external IT firm, that's what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. For us, it's more than 1,500 customers, but you're in those customers' businesses. You've seen these strategic outcomes that they're looking for, whatever they may be, and you've seen the successes and the wins and the failures, and then basically an outsourced team, an outside IT firm can bring those insights into your business and help them work for you. Now, at the same time, it can align the other way. Let's say that your IT managers and your IT team, they are focused on all of those high-level strategies, and there isn't time for them to focus on the nitty-gritty, and your end users internally are getting frustrated and they're losing patience with your IT department and management because they just can't get their daily needs met because everyone is focused on the 2-year, 3-year, 5-year big picture. Then an outside firm can come in and help with the day-to-day issues. So it helps align your business to your strategic goals. So that is basically the second way. Now let's talk about efficiencies, creating efficiencies. I think this is kind of a no-brainer, easy one to think about, but mixing full-time help, contract help, temporary help optimizes your output, right? So it just gets things done faster. So it improves your agility, more rapid delivery of services, helps get exposure to innovative technologies. So when you have an outsourced firm come in and help support your team, they're employing brand new, bleeding edge, cutting edge technologies every day in businesses across the country, and they can come in and say, hey, you didn't even think you needed this, you didn't even know this existed, but how about this as an option? Because we are partners, we're trusted, we know what your business outcomes you're trying to achieve, and we just saw something a similar business is doing in a different state that might help you here, and we want to share it with you. So efficiency, and then getting it to market, to your end user as fast as possible. And the biggest thing there, obviously, business uptime is important too, and not having to make that the case for that capital expense investment, right? So just a financial efficiency with blended IT. You don't need to spend all this time researching what technology stacks align with your business outcome, and then training your staff on how to deploy them and train everyone on how to use them, and then getting any hardware, software services that are needed to get all of that done, and then arranging the whole budget case for it. So efficiency, if you already have an outside trusted partner on hand, then you can reach out to them and get everything done faster, less expensive, without a big capital expense investment. So moving on to the next, this is kind of just a recap of all those points we just kind of talked about, but a blended IT solution for your company can help reduce your overhead, give you access, depending on what level of service you're looking for, to 24/7 support, round out your technical strengths because you can't be good at everything, increase your situational experience, speed up projects, reduce waste. You've got team members that are just spending way too much time in the nitty-gritty. They are spending way too much time researching things and getting up to speed on technologies. Increase your flexibility, decrease your overall IT spending, and then ultimately help reduce turnover when you aren't having to look for let people go because they weren't able to keep up with the skill set, or bring new people on to bring in new skill sets. So ultimately reducing turnover and even frustration from IT workers your IT staff getting just overwhelmed and bogged down. So next we have myths about blended IT. So these are some of the things that, reasons that businesses basically say, I don't know if blended IT is right for us. So, and then we'll just kind of talk about what's the answer, what's the response to those myths. So I can do better myself, right? I've tried outsourcing before, it didn't work, we can just do it ourselves. So again, this goes back to the pace of change. Technology is driving change so rapidly that almost no one can keep up with it. So doing it yourself is, unless you're a speed reader, is likely, and then a speed doer, I guess, probably likely not the best solution. I'll lose control in a blended or hybrid IT environment. And again, this might be based on past experiences where you did bring in an outside firm and you did feel like you had no visibility into what was going on with your network or your infrastructure and all the requests that you were asking. So really those days are kind of behind us because of all of the creation and development of portals, plugins, and platforms that really give ultimate control to the business that has employed the services of the outsourced IT firm. And it's really about this harmonious relationship. So you bring in outside IT help. They come in and they bring in a portal, a way for you to see and engage with whether it be the project or the ongoing services in real time on a daily basis, so that you feel like you still have the pulse of what's going on with technology in your business. You're not outside of that. So you do have control like never before in a hybrid situation. Sometimes people think that blended IT is too hard to manage. So, okay, we saw that slide with all of the many, many, many technologies that are available, and you've got to think, wow, I've got my IT guy, I've got this guy we call it for these projects, and I'm going to call in a different IT company to help, and there's all of these solutions, and there's all these specialties that everyone has. But what's happening now is you're able to have larger IT firms that are bundling interfaces again, and they're automating processes, and they're putting all of this into portals with all of their offerings with complete transparency to whoever the IT manager is on site. So let's say it's services and software. You're able to basically go into one portal, and it's all based on this pay-as-you-go model, this non-large upfront investment by the business, by the end-using business. So okay, this month I have contracted out to a managed service provider. I have 50 users this month. Well, I have a portal now that I can go into, and I can manage it all from there. I can see how many users that they are supporting, how many servers they're supporting. I can see how many licenses that they're supporting and that I have of different software solutions, and then I can modify those on an as-needed basis and then pay for them prorated on a monthly basis. So it's all pay-as-you-go, even all the way up to the hardware spectrum, even, hardware as a service. So from your actual services, your managed services, your help desk, to your software licensing, everything can be bundled together in one package, in one portal, with ultimate control by whoever is in charge of that at your organization. So things have changed a lot. It is not nearly as hard to manage as it was previously. All right, so another myth we have is blended IT is less secure than a dedicated environment. So in reality, today's IT service providers are likely more compliant than your business could really achieve on their own. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a case study down the road. But all of the resources that it would take to be constantly diligent and compliant, you would need your own team of IT security professionals to manage those security concerns. So again, trusted advisor, trusted IT firm, let them worry about, you saw all the engineers that Managed Solution has on board, let those engineers worry about the latest and greatest and all of the lessons learned from the non-best practices so that your business is actually more secure and more compliant than if you were on your own. And then blended IT is too hard to budget for, and we talked about that a little bit. It's another myth. So adopting a hybrid IT model actually lowers your risk of your IT resources and the businesses they support. So you don't have to make those huge investments all at once. You can start incrementally choosing the options that are right for you, and again, increase them as needed and decrease them as needed. It's all based on what you are consuming, when you need to consume it, by user, pay as you go, by user, by month. Right now, we just want a little help. Oh my gosh, we are growing so fast. We need a ton of help. Come in, help us with a huge project. Okay, project's over. We don't need your help anymore, but we still need your help desk services. So use what you need when you need it. So those are the myths around blended IT. And now let's talk a little bit about how blended IT has helped someone like you. So we're going to work through 3 different examples of this. We've got a global example and an enterprise example and then a small business example. So Managed Solution recently worked and still works with very closely with Hitachi Global. They had a challenge. So they got a new CIO, and he was tasked with SaaSifying the organization and really needed to bring in a trusted partner to look at the financial components around their technology and drive their organizational IT spend into a price per user model. They also had critical technology issues where they had out-of-date versions causing very big security issues. So Managed Solution came in. They worked very closely, blended harmoniously with the global CIO and their head of infrastructure to create a true Active Directory infrastructure and identity management across every facet of the business. They built processes, or our team built processes to automate updates and automate their data center. And this really resulted in the merge of more than 75,000 users across the globe. So global organization, North America, Malaysia, China, and different European sites. So at the end of the story, hundreds of hours spent on worldwide conference calls, and that kind of takes us back a little bit to that, like our team or an outsourced team and an internal team working together harmoniously. There are engineers at Managed Solution that changed their entire schedule so that they could completely support the customer in China and have those calls at the times that were the most convenient for the customer so that they could do this project the best. So you don't have to have, in order to have blended IT, your IT firm doesn't have to be down the street. You can literally do this from anywhere in the world. But the conference calls worldwide, 150,000 members were set up in Active Directory, created a trusted infrastructure, and the identities can be managed from the data center all the way to the mobile device. So, and they're a fully integrated Microsoft cloud-based shop, so EMS, Azure, authentication globally. They use pretty much everything that Microsoft has to offer in their cloud-based consumption model. And again, as much as possible, even on this level, moving forward, paying as they go based on consumption, whether that be services or their software. They want to pay as they go. That is the new model that everyone wants to do. All right, the next case study is Stone Brewing. So here we have a very fast-growing brewery. They were challenged with paying for enterprise licensing for staffers that did not need enterprise licensing, were not using enterprise licensing. They needed tools that would allow them to create streamlined processes that automatically consolidated their different processes, and they wanted to pay exactly for what they were using and not pay for the features that weren't being consumed by brewers and warehouse workers. So you might have all this robust productivity, functionality with Office 365, but it's not being consumed, but we're paying for it. How do we need help? We need help not to do that as we grow. And we're growing fast. We don't know how quickly we're growing. We don't want to pay for a ton of licenses if we're not going to fill up all those licenses. So basically they said we need a trusted partner to come in and help us figure out what we need to do with our technology here. So we discussed pay for what you use consumption-based plan, one where they did not need to pay for anything that wasn't being consumed, and basically make sure that whether they were having someone on a brewer or warehouse worker or someone in the executive offices, they had the productivity tools that they needed to get their job done and create efficiencies as they expanded globally. So they use Microsoft Remote Desktop Services, virtual desktop infrastructure, mixed with some managed services, providing a wide range of solutions from basic desktop full-featured to fully managed desktops. And now they don't have the full-time burden of managing and securing desktops, application, and data, so they can do what they do best. Their IT team can do what they do best, which is support the strategic priorities and technology projects for their organization, and their IT managers are not worrying about licensing. They were banging their heads against the wall worrying about licensing and enterprise agreements and bringing in an outsourced IT firm to help them figure all that out, blending harmoniously to really help them at the end of the day so they could focus on their business. Last case study is a small business case study. Here we're talking about a small financial organization that had an audit and did not pass regulatory compliance, and they needed help from a partner, a trusted partner, to help them get off of Google Apps and use a new business platform. They had an in-house IT manager who had several responsibilities, and he did not want to worry about these daily IT issues. He had other things to worry about, and he didn't feel comfortable handling the compliance for the organization with all of his other duties. So again, reached out for a managed solution as a trusted, outside technology partner to come in and help them basically assess their structure, provided them a full cloud solution, including Office 365 and platinum level managed service support, which includes remote monitoring plus the help desk, the phone help desk, and unlimited on-site support that is scalable to grow with their organization, paying for what they use on a per user per month basis. So with understanding their true business goals, we are able to really provide a cost-effective, efficiencies and lowering cost, a cost-effective business continuity disaster recovery solution, and migrated users and data to Office 365. So this solution really just helps ensure that they're going to meet the compliance requirements ongoing, that they'll never have to worry at another audit. They reduce costs because they didn't have to purchase new on-premise hardware, and it provides an easy solution for growth because, as we all know, the cloud is scalable. The fixed cost model and 24/7 help desk and unlimited on-site support has increased employee productivity and then helped them leverage and learn their technology tools, which again, your trusted outside firm can come in and help your team learn how to use the tools that you've decided you want to employ to grow your business and your strategic outcomes. It's not just about installing them and setting them up and making sure they all work and everyone has logins. It's about really making sure that the end user is comfortable and knows how to consume them and use them most efficiently. And that's just a whole other burden on your IT staff if you don't already have a large team that loves working with all the end users at the organization. So now let's just talk a little bit about, so we talked about why blended IT is great. We talked about what it is. We gave you some examples of how it's worked. Let's just kind of talk through, break out what that could mean individually. So a form of blended IT is managed services. So desktop and device management, server monitoring and management, on-site support, off-site support, business continuity, and backup disaster recovery. So those are kind of the four major brackets when you think of like a traditional managed service team coming in to help manage your technology services. So it can be done again, and it's all, do you want 100% help with that, or do you just want help with the backup disaster recovery? Do you just need phone support, or do you need on-site support? What can your team handle, and what can your team not handle? What does your team only need help with once in a while? So all of those questions answered, figuring out what's best for your business. And then this just talks a little bit about, okay, so let's say I do want you to manage and monitor the levels of support. So I just want you to manage and monitor, but my team can fix it if it breaks. You just tell me if it's broken. Well, no, I want you to manage and monitor it, and when it breaks, you guys call me, and then talk with me on the phone about how to fix it, or I need you guys out on site. And then all the way up to, as we talked about a little bit before, hardware as a service, a pay-as-you-go hardware as a service model, which can be included in managed services. Then we also can talk about backup and compliance is definitely a part of this. I said if you just need backup disaster and recovery, if you just need help with security and compliance, you need it at one time, you want it once, you want to talk about, have a security assessment and a compliance assessment once a year. It's as little or as much help as is necessary for the strategic outcomes your business is looking to achieve. Then we'll move to systems integration. Again, a good systems integration team. A lot of companies have really good day-to-day IT guys on hand, IT personnel on hand, but when it comes to a big an architecture project where they need to really decide what the future is going to look like for their infrastructure, if they've got aging infrastructure, then they need to say, okay, trusted outsourced partner, trusted outside partner, please come in with your brilliant engineers that you showed me earlier that have so many amazing competencies that know everything there is to know, and help us with this project. And in automation, we've got a great guy. He's already on 10 projects, but we really need to automate these 10 processes. If we could just automate these processes, his day could be freed up to do other things and really work on projects that are meaningful, develop that new app that we want him to make for our field team or whatever. So let the systems integration team come in and help figure out how to do that. And then you have all the tools necessary for a modern workforce, right? Mobile workforce solutions, information protection, desktop virtualization, mobile device management. We sent out an email yesterday about, the dangers of employees playing Pokemon Go and possibly getting robbed. Is your data secure? How are you keeping your data secure on those mobile devices? Is your IT team thinking about that? Is that really top of mind? Maybe they're thinking about things that are a much bigger deal for as far as big picture strategic vision of your company. But if somebody steals a phone and swipes your sensitive data, then you're going to have a big fire on your hands. So maybe let an outsourced firm handle all of those little details so that you can think about bigger things. Enterprise mobility, cloud identity, and access management. And then lastly, as far as a piece of what could be a blended IT is really having that, that outside trusted partner help you with your licensing. We talked about how we help Stone Brewing with their licensing and many, many others. Here you see an example where, okay, well, I need 77 Office 365 users, but I only need 40 SharePoint users. I only need 15 CRM users. So really, what's that best mix? And then giving you even a discount. So if you're fortunate enough to work with a cloud solution provider, you can have even better pricing than you could possibly get just going directly, better pricing than you can get by going directly to Microsoft. And then you have the support of that licensing. And then ultimately through that portal I talked about earlier, you have complete control over that licensing on a daily basis, and then you're only paying for what you are actually consuming, pay per month per user. So a trusted partner to help you with licensing as well, even if that's all you need help with. And that is kind of the culmination of our webinar. And thank you very much for attending. I hope it didn't take too much of your day, 30 minutes. And you can reach us the various ways you see there. And our website has a ton of resources on blended IT. You can fill out a form online and basically get a white paper on blended IT or an infographic on blended IT. We have so many resources available there. We have also we are doing free server room assessments through the end of the month. I think there are about 4 or 5 left for the West region, so you can fill out a form online if you'd like to get a free server room assessment to see maybe if you do need any help, free risk assessment, and a free network health assessment. So those are all available if you're interested in getting any of those online. So thank you very much. And I don't see any questions from the audience, so we will leave it there and have a wonderful day. Thanks again.